So, good morning. Good morning to all of you. Thank you very much for coming. This is extremely important for our Colégio Brasileiro de Altos Estudos, our Institute for Advanced Studies of Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. And I want to especially acknowledge Professor Xufeng Zhu, Dean of the School of Public Policy and Management, Mario and Paulo. Sorry. Okay, let's start. So, a special acknowledgement to Professor Xufeng Zhu, Dean of the School of Public Policy and Management at Tsinghua University, Executive Director of the Institute for Sustainable Development Goals at Tsinghua University, and Chief Expert on Artificial Intelligence Public Governance at the Institute for Artificial Intelligence International Governance. Professor Liang Zhang, Professor at the School of Public Policy and Management, Deputy Director of the China Institute for Science Technology Policy at Tsinghua University, and Vice Dean of the Institute of Artificial Intelligence International Governance. As the time is limited, I would like to go straight to the purpose of today's gathering. Our objective is to begin envisioning the implementation roadmap of the Memorandum of Understanding that we will sign between the Institute for Advanced Studies, Colégio Brasileiro de Altos Estudos, Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and the Artificial Intelligence International Governance Institute at Tsinghua University. This is an opportune moment as we are diligent working on our proposal for a new National Institute for Science Technology in Public Policy Strategies and Development, Building Futures. Significant synergies can be explored, supported by the foundation of our robust collaboration, which has been evolving since 2012. I want to highlight three critical dimensions within the research fields of the Institute for International Intelligence that align with our shared goals. The first one is theoretical studies on artificial intelligence international governance. In our context, we aim to focus on building state capacities in artificial intelligence at the national level, addressing governance and strategic implementation challenges. The second dimension is comparative practices in artificial intelligence international governance. Especially, we seek to analyze critical areas such as Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, environmental protection and disaster prevention, net zero cities, agriculture and health. The third dimension is capacity building. As outlined in the Memorandum of Understanding, we propose co-hosting artificial intelligence executive training programs, inviting scholars and industry practitioners to enhance the capabilities of public and private sector managers in artificial intelligence application and governance. This initiative aims to strengthen both nations' technological innovation and talent cultivation capacity, quoting the Institute document. Before concluding, I would like to make two additional observations. The one is the T20 recommendation. The T20 engagement group of think tanks of G20 has proposed establishing Data 20, a multi-stakeholder platform to enhance cooperation on global data governance. This initiative focuses on critical issues such as social inclusion, inequality reduction, climate justice, health, and the future of work. This recommendation aligns well with the goals of our partnership. And the second observation is the implementation methodology. In building the implementation roadmap, we should maybe consider leveraging the methodology of our joint Latin American poverty alleviation competition that we implemented this year, using the W and H approach. What, why, who, when, where, and how. And this structured approach can guide us in defining actionable steps and ensuring the success of our collaboration. I look forward to working closely with all of you as we embark on this most relevant initiative. Thank you. Thank you. Now I give the floor to Professor Xufeng, please. And then you have this. Yeah. Where is the other one? Yeah, this one.
May I?
Yes.
Yes. Before.
Yes, for sure.
Okay. That's so also give me the opportunity to say some words. I think it's in this very I think it's important event during our collaborations in past 10 years. So all our friends, dear friends, nice to meet you again. Yes, I think it. So this is the third time for me to be here. So I just arrived from Brasileiro, so last night, and the Professor Xufeng, so flight 30 hours, so from Beijing to here, and arrived there by last night. So that's really a long travel. But I think in my mind, so this distance will not be an obstacle for our collaborations. So in past 10 years, so that's what I think testified. So from a junior, I think a researcher to I think a professor now, so in the School of Public Policy and Management. I should say thanks for all of you, especially the founders of this program, the Centro, so Brazil, so Innovation Dialogue. My dean, so Professor Xue Lan, so who is now the dean of the Schwarzman College, and also the well-known, I think it's scholars, so in worldwide. He's right now, so in San Francisco, to participate the dialogue on the AI safety issues. That's also a very, I think, important, so global, I think, challenges now all the countries face. I should also say thank you for our so dear, I think, remembery, so friend and geography, so who is really, I think, brilliant, I think, thinker and yes, the founder, yes, of this program. Yes, so I still remember so the good memories when we spent here, so before the pandemic. That's really, so I think it's the most of the so best memories so in my life. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yeah, to return here. And I also want to say thanks for Anastasia. I think it's especially for this very challengeable job to organize this issue in such a limited time. So unfortunately, so our president, so Professor, our chairman, Professor Qiu Yong, who is former president and now the chairman of the Council of Tsinghua, he will arrive by noon. So from Brasileiro. So because he is in Brasileiro to send some MOUs so with some I think it's so entities both are on the Sino-Brazil collaborations. We see the declarations between both our government. We signed 35 I think it's MOU 37. Yeah. Yeah, but the city will be so aware of it so very so much than me, so because she is I think it's a promoter of one of the important I think it's so memos for the poor elevation, for sustainable development, and for the youth I think it's development. So all our teams are really very so excited about this. Because in my view, so that's the only one so be involved so into all of these MOUs so between Tsinghua University and the Federal University of Rio. So thank you so much for understanding. I don't want to say too much words on all of this background, but I just also want to learn from all of you, because I met some of you, Adriano, Paula, I think it just, Mario, just, so I think it, so 2 months, nearly, I think 3 months ago, so in Tsinghua. So that's the 10th executive program, between the Sino, Brazil, innovation dialogue. We host the delegation, and there are, I think, participants, both from academy as well as industry and the government. So I give the introduction about what's the development of AI, as well as the policy, I think, portfolios. So how to benefit, from which. And all the participants are very interested about this. And Anastasia told me, so this is also a key issue now, Brazilian government, give focus on which. That's a very initial ideas, for us to facilitate our collaborations under this topic. And I think, Professor Zhu Xufeng gave I think it's the lecture on sustainable development, goals, because which is his major research concerns. So how to use AI to benefit the social development, the sustainable development. That's why we are here today. We really enjoy to have this opportunity to continue our discussion. Since what we had in Tsinghua, and we want to push forward the exact collaborations under this very essential topics just declared by President Xi Jinping. Yesterday, the China and the Brazilian government will push forward the collaborations under these key issues like sustainable development, poor aviation, as well as AI governance. That's what I already got from the declaration. I guess all our I think the concerns are already enrolled in the government level collaborations in the future. So thank you so much to be here. I really looking forward to the discussion. Thank you.
Before Professor Zhu, I want just ask you to introduce yourselves, okay? Because it's important for us. Let's start by Andrea Dyer, our chairholder of one of the chairs of this institute, of our Institute for Advanced Study, the Colégio Brasileiro of High Studies.
Yes, all right. Well, I'm a researcher and I'm a chairholder here at the Colégio Brasileiro de Altos Estudos, and I have the privilege to work with Ana Célia Castro. And I'm a professor emeritus of this university, a historian, specialist of orality and literacy. And I'm really, I want to emphasize, I have the privilege to work here in this institution and work with Ana Célia Castro. It's a very, I'm a witness of her efforts, okay? Big efforts for us all, for the institution to be here today with our colleagues of China, of Tsinghua University. It's a big pleasure. Thank you very much for you all, okay? Thank you.
Aguiar.
Hi, my name is Iago. I am a political scientist. I work in Rio de Janeiro State University in a postdoctoral work and work with Ana Célia too here. So thank you all for the organization. Eu acho que eu vou poder falar depois. Ah, eu já falo do meu trabalho? Ah, tá. My research agenda is based on the notion of digital capacity, state digital capacity.
Then you have time to present your research, because this is the main objective. But
Okay.
I want to introduce you. So Iago,
Okay.
Iago Paiva, no Iago.
Iago Paiva.
Yes, and he works in the National Institute for Science Technology in
Yes.
public policy strategies and development.
Eu pensei que ia ter
Good morning. I am Estela Neves. I also work at the National Institute of Public Policies. My academic background and expertise is first in urban planning and then in environmental governance. At the Institute, I am the coordinator of one of the 3 research groups dedicated to the governance of the public goods and sustainability. And my current research area is about water governance and the restructuring of public policies in Brazil. And I'm very happy to be here and to join you in this joyful event.
Good morning. I am Maria Leopoldi. I am also a fellow research of the National Institute of Research. I also lecture public policy. I'm a political scientist, and I coordinate the line of research in the National Institute concerning public policies and development.
Good morning, I'm Paolo Bruni. I'm a diplomat, and I have the privilege of working for many years in China, and I am one of the initiators of the IBRAC, so I'm here as a long-standing support for the support to IBRAC, its merits on, on developing relations with China.
And he was at the very beginning of all negotiations with Tsinghua University and gave us the expertise in diplomatic issues.
Hello everybody, my name is Adriano Proença, in Portuguese, and I'm a professor at the Polytechnic School, the Engineering School of Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and I've joined IBRAC nearly a decade ago, and I've been going to China since then, and I'm very happy to be here. And my research interests, they come from, I'm a part of the chair on contemporary China here in the College of Advanced Studies or High Studies, and my interest goes in the way firms have been rethinking their strategic paths. I'm particularly interested in Chinese firms, and just as brief snippets, I think there are 2 issues there. The answer, I mean, the way firms organize themselves, which is different from the late 20th century, and the way they think how to do it. The strategic thinking, I think, is also evolving in a way, I wouldn't say unexpected, but I think it's a very interesting research avenue where artificial intelligence plays a role, but it's not the main issue. It's part of the agenda, like environment and like social issues and like new geopolitical realities. Thank you.
I start thank you, Dr. Zheng, for being here, for all these years, for this splendid collaboration, and which is the most important thing for me is to have success in building these things that we are trying to along all these years. And I think we have really got a very good result of having people involved and have people understanding more about China, and the Chinese intending more about Brazil. And this is a big, big, big pleasure. So the first thing is to have you both here. It's a big, big pleasure. Well, I'm Mario Ripper. I am extremely interested in these things that I was just talking, in the relation with China. We always believed that China is an important role. It's not only an important role for the world, but it's an important role for us. So it's a pleasure to follow this dynamic of how to evolve.
Hello, my name is Paula Carvalho. I am a researcher here at the university, at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro, and also at the Institute for Brazil-China Studies. And my research interests concern China's policies to development. So.
Yes. And then you follow with
Thank
the
you,
presentation.
Thank you for your invitation. This is my first time I'm being in Brazil. So my name is Xufeng Zhu. Currently is Dean of the School of Public Policy and Management of Tsinghua University. Our school, we have a lot of think tanks, policy research institute. Professor Liang Zhen, he is in charge of the Institute for Science and Technology Policy Center, and also the AI International Governance Institute. Currently, I'm also in charge of I'm in charge of another two research institutes, which are very matched with today's topic. One is the executive director of the Institute for Sustainable Development Goals. Another one is the Center for Science and Technology Development and Governance. Actually, we have two different institutes. Yes, science and technology, but we have a different background. The Science and Technology Policy Center was sponsored by the Ministry of Science and Technology. Our Institute for Research Center for Science, Technology Development and Governance, it was sponsored by the Association of China Association of Science and Technology. So both of us, we are part-time experts for both of our research institute. I'm the chief scientist of the AIIGs. He is our Deputy Secretary General of the center. So. Okay, dear professors and colleagues from Brazil. Okay, today I would like to talk about the artificial intelligence contribution to the carbon neutrality. So, oh, I see. So, let's talk about the carbon neutrality ambitions and the challenges, because President Xi Jinping of Chinese government, he announced in September 2020 that by 2060, China would like to achieve carbon neutrality before 2060. So currently, at the current trend, the China energy activities emissions will reach 7 to 8 billion tons in 2060. So how to, this is the trend, but how to use our, this is the fossil fuel, this is a new energy. So we would like to have more percentage of our new energy, clean energy, but gradually lower down the fossil fuel energy proportion. So let me introduce the framework of carbon neutrality actions. So there are 3 stages: before, during, and after. First is the goal setting and quantify, and reduce and enhance, balance, monitor, and report and communicate and verification. So this is the 3 stage and 6 sub-stages of the carbon neutrality. So actually, for AI, each stage, the AI can help the government, help the whole society to reach the carbon neutrality. For example, of course, in the whole world, according to the rapid development of AI, according to the iResearch, by 2026, the scale of the core artificial intelligence industry will exceed 6 billion yuan, and the scale of the related industry will reach 2.177 billion yuan. So we can see AI large model like ChatGPT has powerful functions, and they will grow 1 million users in 5 days. So you can see this is the size of China's AI industry. We can see it is a very promoting. So in China, AI industry, we have different categories, but a lot of companies about AI. For example, first is the basic layers. Another one is the technology layers and the application layers. Different layers, we have different companies, and this is all the ecological, industrial ecology about the AI development. So lot of companies and the technologies they can use with different applications. So let me talk about AI has a huge potential to assist the AI neutrality. So for example, the Boston Consult Group, their report by 2030, AI technology will reduce greenhouse gas emission by 2.6 and by 5.3 billion tons. And also a lot of things can be reduced by the AI. And in value added when applied in the corporate sustainable generally. So we have, I just introduced some AI applications that can contribute to the carbon neutrality or carbon reduction. The first is Digital Earth. This is the application, is an information system that describes and processes and analyzes the Earth's environment and the space activities. It is used to remote sensors and other observations methods to efficiently obtain Earth observation data and reconstruct a virtual Earth model. So it can monitor sense and also monitoring carbon cycle. Another one is the carbon footprint detection. So the carbon detection is defined as the total set of greenhouse gas emissions caused by an organization like the factory, product, and the person. So they can use AI to track and the individual or the organizations inside of activities, as well as giving recommendation on how to reduce their carbon emission. So this is the project and the carbon footprint detection project. And also another one is smart grid. Smart grid means electricity network using digital technologies, sensors, and software to better match the supply and the demand of electricity in real time, and while minimizing costs and maintaining the stability of the grid. So this in China, at least, there are like a smart grid system all over the country. And AIGC can be used to improve efficiency. A lot of things like education, virtual collaborations, and remote work, and monitoring and reporting, and also the carbon neutrality consulting and carbon emission forecasting. So they can be used. So that's the third stage of the reporting and the calculating of the carbon neutrality system. So this is another thing, the Green City Watch. Green City Watch is another application, like it's an urban forest management program. It leverages a combination of ecological engineering, machine learning technologies, and remote sensor methods node and geospatial AI to bolster AI, bolster urban tree longevity. So they are actually, they can monitor every tree, their breath, and the carbon absorption of the carbons. Okay, so these are all examples that we use AI to monitor or enhance the carbon neutrality or carbon reduction, emission reduction. But maybe I think very important thing is AI is better resolved to challenges of the changing society. You know, in China, you know, this is 2010 and 2020. So we can see that currently our Chinese government encourage our young couples to have more babies. That's why, because we have shortage of babies, and maybe 20 years later we will be shortage of the workers. Yes, yeah, in 20 to 30 years old. Generations and labors, but for AI, like robot and automation system, we can use that. We can use AI or robot to help us to resolve our labor shortage in the long run, and also because of that, we haven't need so many young babies and young generations to adjust our demographic shape, right? So this is another AI's benefit. Therefore, fewer people, more AI, that could be less energy using and energy consumption, right? Because every people, we have more energy consumption. So, and also the AI's adverse impact on AI, we must remind that AI itself are energy consumption industry. Therefore, there are three problems. Yes, one is higher energy consumption, another is electric waste. The third one is inequality of the climate governance for different generations, different people, different groups. So we must control AI's development with high energy using technology. Actually, we must upgrade our technology, AI technology, that is fewer energy consuming and also others, and also a lot of waste. So we must control our waste and also to balance the climate governance. So finally, the conclusion is AI can provide assistance throughout the entire life cycle of the carbon neutral action framework, as I just mentioned. Another one is AI development should take the need of different application scenarios brought about by population structure into account. And also AI, its own carbon footprint cannot be ignored. More green AI is needed. Therefore, totally speaking, we can see that AI can beneficial to the carbon reduction, emission reduction. But we must consider this AI itself, the carbon emission, and also the whole population structure. So thank you for your attention. Thank you.
I would like to give the floor first to Professor Maria Antonieta and Professor Stella, because she probably will have to leave before. If you want to, to think about this information to the building up of our proposal, because I think that is very much in synergy with our own proposal. If you want to say something before, because you have to leave.
Well, I wouldn't in this moment have anything sharp to comment. We are both very impressed by the possibilities open by those. It's more than techniques, it's a whole approach that is needed to think from AI point of view solutions for our problems. So we must calm down and organize our thoughts, but first of all, it's very impressive and very opens wide ways to rethink problems, especially environmental and urban problems.
I think that what you are showing is a future. I don't know how many decades ahead, but the possibility of measuring the carbon neutrality and also the envisaging the population development and the measures for using machines according to the structure of the population, demographic population. It's something for us for the next century, but I don't know how many decades you expect to be implementing this technology, but it's quite impressive. And I also think that beyond the carbon neutrality capacity of measuring and controlling, the public policy of green city is very, very interesting, measuring the trees and the emission of carbon. It's very interesting. So I think in the whole, I was very impressed by the possibilities of AI helping with the green policies and with the demographic policies. And if you could go a little bit ahead with this information about the demographic policies helped by the AI, I would thank. Okay.
Thank you for the brilliant presentation. I envy your slides, so if you could allow us to have them, I would be very happy. But
they are here. Can we share between us, because they are saved in the computer? Can we share the slides just between us? Yeah. No. Yes, because I want to really share with them. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much. And I must say that I'm not into a professional discussion about carbon neutrality, AI, or environment, but I'm always very impressed by the way there is kind of a way of approaching the discussion that you do in China. So 3 points I would like to highlight. One is the demographics. This is the way the pyramid has been getting older, but at the same time, you can see clearly moments where you have a reduction of the birth rate, and others when you have an expansion of the birth rate. Our pyramid is not like so beautifully, sculpted. So China is different in this sense. The second one is the artificial intelligence ecosystem that you presented with the big companies on the basis, but you have so many firms doing things, and that's a very Chinese way of, you see, it's a whole ecosystem developing with multiple initiatives in the form of private companies. So I think you have axes of evolution that are not restricted to, the big issues, but also many applications and many forms of evolving. And my third remark would be concerning that's something that's different. I put it as a question. For a long time, for the last years, I haven't seen a roadmap or the evolution of the energy supply in China for at least 5-6 years. Okay, I'm out of date. But usually there is a role for oil, for hydrocarbonates, that's still relevant in 2060. And in the presentation, you showed us a graph where, in a sense, coal is going away, but oil and gases are also disappearing in 2060. And that's something that's expected. I mean, will China work only with renewable sources of energy by 2060? I would be very impressed, because there are many challenges in changing our energy metrics. So I've never seen a representation where in 2060 you don't have nor oil nor gas. So just as a question to me to get updated. But thank you again for the excellent presentation. I'm thinking a lot about what you said. Thank you.
Let me respond to you directly. First, I think the population structure, as you know, that China, the population is getting older and older. So the very much because there are a lot of dilemmas by the government that how they can deal with a lot of different problems. For example, currently we are shortage of young generations. That's first thing, but we have a lot of unemployment rate, very high, because a lot of young generations like graduate students from college, they can find a job just after their graduation. But another one is our pension. Our resource of pension has been used up. So 2 months ago, Chinese government announced that we must extend the retirement age. As 2 years ago, I mentioned that our pension system in my speech. So there are a lot of dilemma, because if we encourage our young couples to have more babies, there are a lot of potential unemployment issues. If we have if we extend our retirement age, the job positions still occupied by older people. So young people can't find new jobs. So that's a lot of dilemmas. So and also retired people like 70 or 80 years old, because their sons, daughters, and grandsons, they are working, so they haven't any resource or energy to care of their young, older people. How to do that? We cannot just ask the young people to quit their work and to take care of their old generations. We can't do that. So AI could be a solution, because a lot of robots and also other AI system can maybe partially help our elderly care system. For example, currently one nurse can help one old family, but with AI, maybe one nurse. I don't say we need a nurse, but we need an elderly nurse. But one nurse can take care maybe 5 older families. That can resolve the shortage of young laborers who take care of elders. So this is our solution for AI, our aging society with AI. So as I just mentioned, that more people, more energy consuming, right? Every kid, we have travel every day. We have a car, and so fewer people, we have fewer energy usage. Therefore, with AI, the government needn't push our young couples to have more babies, and then our whole society, the structure of the population could be more balanced and more healthy. And after maybe 30 years later, maybe our, currently we have a 1.4 billion population, but maybe 20 or 30 years later, we have maybe 1 billion. That's maybe could be a good shape of our population structure. So this is one of my response. Another one is ecosystem of our industry. Yes, I showed so many firms. Maybe you never heard about so many firms because only top companies can be heard, But in China, we have a lot of startups and medium and small companies who research and develop new AI industry, AI technologies. And we hope that between, among them, the competition among them, several firms can survive and then grow up, become big companies. But most of them, larger number of them, will be, bankrupt. That competition can, finally got the healthy ecosystem of the industry. For example, for the drone, we only know that Dajiangzhou, but you don't know that several years ago in Shenzhen, Shenzhen is the headquarters of Dajiang, but at that time, at the same time, there were 600 of drone companies in Shenzhen, but currently only one Dajiang. Not only one, maybe only 10 big companies, but only one is the biggest one is Dajiang. But the others, we have XH and also others. So maybe only 10 companies related with a drone, because these companies are very strong, very competitive. Their technology is very advanced. So that's the competition for our genetic and also very, very, effective industry for grow up. Therefore, you needn't only focus on like Huawei. Huawei is only one of the company that survive and grow up. But 30 years ago, there are a lot of similar companies with Huawei. But now, Huawei is the biggest one. But we have also maybe middle one and a small one. Follow up. That's the very healthy, ecosystem. The final one is energy, like 2060. We can see that first AI is good, but for AI itself, they consume a lot of energy. But for us, because our Chinese society, we are now we have a lot of solar panel productivity capacity. So as we can imagine that if we set more solar panels, we needn't more fossil fuel like oil, like gas. We needn't, because we only need solar energy. That's all. And also in China, the controllable nuclear fusion system. There are, currently this technology, China and America are advantage countries, two advantage. We have different technical paths. So we hope that maybe 20 or 30 years later, we have controllable nuclear fusion technology to resolve all our energy needs. And at that time, we can see we need the fossil fuel anymore. Thank you.
I have just one quick question regarding the green AI you mentioned at the end. What exactly do you mean by green AI?
Let me tell a story. For example, computer. In 1964, the first computer in the world, it is huge. Yeah, 24 tons, and every devices inside 1 watt, and though finally this whole computer maybe tens of thousands of kilowatt. You know, that's the very energy consuming. But now you see, this is a very, very cold and very light. That's the development of new technology and the computing technology for the 40 and 50 years later. We can imagine that for AI. Currently, like NVIDIA and a lot of chips, they are consuming a lot of energy. Of course, we must find a new energy source for computing centers and data centers. For example, the Apple and OpenAI, they already invest the new development of new energies, like as I mentioned, controllable nuclear fusion. So this is one path to consume more energy, but the energy is green. Another path is we can upgrade our AI technology as each chip, they're saving more energy, and also smaller and smaller, and also quantum computing, we needn't silicon anymore, we need quantum computing. So anything we can do that AI technology itself can consume less energy in the future. So two paths can combine together, which we call green AI. Green energy source, but itself consume lot of energy, but we use clean energy. Another one is they use fewer, less energy. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. It's amazing because, you were mentioned not only a technical problem, an economic problem, but also a social problem. And it's perfect because we have the same problem in Brazil. I mean, the inversion of the pyramid, we'll have old people, not working people, and the problem of nurses is really, really very important. For example, intelligent homes are something really, really important for both our societies, So it's not only a question of energy and transition. Yes, this is our global goal, but we also have a social goal that's very important for both countries. And the challenges are different, of course, but it's much more similar between China and Brazil than for the rest of Western countries, I think so. So it's really, I think, a perfect marriage that we are celebrating today. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would like to add something. Seems very important. I was very impressed by this. What can artificial intelligence do? The digital earth. And then I'm thinking about the fact that we really are building an innovation data ecosystem. In our case, we have two initiatives. And I think that this could be together. I mean, the three instead of two, three initiatives together to build this artificial intelligent digital earth. And the first one is with the University of Lisbon. Is the INT Plus. Is an institute that takes care of net zero cities. And we are putting them together with our IBGE, the National Geographic and Statistics Institute, the National Statistics Institute. And they are based, I mean, all the reasoning, all the projects are based in a very robust database that goes directly to the idea of a data 20. And they build in European Union this initiative, Net Zero Cities, that will be supported by this strong database. And then they can follow the projects of Net Zero Cities since the beginning and follow the capacity of carbon neutrality since the very beginning and with all the stages that the Net Zero City wants to really establish. So this idea of INT plus and our IBGE, the National Geographic and Statistics, can be together with the Institute for Artificial Intelligence International Governance. And building this kind of tree with a statistical database in the concept of data 20, I think it's going to be very powerful in terms of providing the database to all of initiatives that are to build this digital earth. And this is one thing. So putting together INT Plus from the University of Lisbon and our IBGE, the National Geographic and Statistical Institute, and the Institute for IE International Governance, because this also is extremely important to our programs in disaster resilience. So it also comes together. We had this seminar just last week, and it was really important. You want to add something?
Yes, and this joins all the importance of data on urban different situations, because it is in the cities that most of people are concentrated. So this is crucial for strategic planning and for disaster prevention.
And the second observation is in capacity building initiatives. As we do have the Ana Jaguaribe Executive Seminar and rethinking the possibilities, maybe we can organize to renovate this initiative, to organize a kind of selection of a course, of a program directed to also Brazilians and, entrepreneurs, etc., but with a concentration field in international intelligence governance. So instead of, part of this initiative, make a specific initiative for teaching, and the same Ana Jaguaribe program, the same organization of Ana Jaguaribe, but concentrated in artificial intelligence initiatives to better explain what we can do in these artificial intelligence governance issues. So I think this is another suggestion that we can do. So both, one organizing the three institutes to work together, because IBGE has an important digital capacity to show the local, what is going on in the local. And then the second one is the initiative for capacity building. You want to add something? Iago just finished a PhD thesis that has a prize, a prize from CAPES, one of the most important prizes in artificial intelligence, and he will explain, but was in artificial intelligence to government, to enhance capacity and capabilities in government, state capacities, with AI.
Thank you for the presentation, the amazing presentation. It's very interesting to think about how AI can boost the carbon neutrality agenda. And for me, especially, I think how this relates to the state capacities, how specifically in my research agenda in digital capacity, I work on this in my PhD dissertation, and AI is part of digital capacity. And so the question for me now is how we can think how AI building capacity can boost digital capacity. And this in a perspective that digital state is important for the development. And so if you think in the classical idea of the state capacity is important for the development, the economic development, now we can think how digital capacity is important for the sustainable development. So this is very interesting. I'm thinking many things here. I will look attentively to the presentation to think how I can work with that. Thank you.
Let me join the discussion. So, Anna, you mentioned that Lisbon, the net zero city. Actually, European countries, they were very ambitious to carbon neutrality initiative, much more ambitious than China, from the beginning. But the problem is, first, the European countries, they are not independent sovereignty. There are a lot of things they cannot get rid of the impact by the American. For example, after the Russia and the Ukraine war, the shortage of gas, so they have to reactivate their fossil fuel energy sources like coal mining plants and also others. The problem is, as I just mentioned, because China currently we have a large capacity of solar panels and wind powers. So we have a lot of investment, not only investment within our country, but also we export our products to other countries. But the European countries, because of the impact of the American, they refuse their new energy products. For example, solar panels, EVs, electricity vehicles, and also others. So that's I don't believe that in the near future they can more progressive on carbon neutrality emissions for themselves. Another one is carbon neutrality or energy saving. We cannot sacrifice our people's convenience and also comfortability. Therefore, for example, in winter, there's shortage of energy. There's no heaters. How to do that? They must reactivate the fossil fuel energy. They cannot just ask the people, you just keep coal and have more clothes during winter. So that cannot do that. That's why the ambitious plan of the European countries, actually they were, because at that time they have a very cheap energy resource from Russia, but currently they haven't. So they have to give up the carbon neutrality plans. But another side, for example, this kind of lot of AI applications, actually these are companies. They are not NGOs. They are not philanthropies. So they must have profitable business models to make them profitable. Otherwise, they can only have donors at donations, and also they do some philanthropy behaviors. So we don't think this is a sustainable business model. The business model for them is they can cut the carbon emission, but we encourage them because they can cut more carbon, they can make more money. That's the healthy industry of carbon neutrality industry. So that's what I want to say. Another one is for the city, you know, for Saudi Arabia, they just announced that they already started built the Line City, you know, very long city. That's the huge project with artificial intelligence and also clean energy. I hope they can successful in the future. Thank you.
As Professor Paulo Ferrão, who came here to teach cities, net zero cities, he's kind of a coordinator of the program in the European Union and also in Portugal. And the thing is that this program has several dimensions, actually. And it's not, I mean, you can approach the idea of a net zero city without being so strict, because as you said, they had to give up some goals because of the war between Russia and Ukraine. So I think that this is more flexible in the sense that they are not government, they are an institute inside a university, like us. And so the idea that you can really combine several horizons and several different initiatives, it's very flexible in the sense that it's not really necessary to have the whole program in 2030, the first step, or in 2050, the second one. So carbon neutrality, it's really going to be very difficult. And as we know, until 2030, we will need from petroleum and other sources. So it's not that easy. Well, things are going to be more important from 2030 on. Now we know that. But as the programs are flexible, I think that we can work in different possibilities. The second thing is that enterprises should be there since the beginning. And the idea of deep transitions, in the idea of deep transitions, enterprises are just the very beginning. Enterprises that really see the importance of carbon neutrality and sustainability, environmental responsibility. So they are really crucial, they are key actors in the whole thing. When I'm referring to an innovation data ecosystem or an innovation ecosystem, I was thinking about all the stakeholders interested in the program and then put together them together then in an international perspective to be able to really advance in this direction. So I think that we really need an innovation ecosystem. If it is only a data innovation ecosystem or an innovation ecosystem to push this digital Earth perspective, I think that is extremely important. And I think that we could have an important role in building up this innovation ecosystem. So I think this is the main objective of everything.
So I'm carefully listening to all of the, I think it's questions, interactions. That's really impressive for myself. So even for myself, I think this is the first time I heard from Xufeng such a comprehensive thinking about what's the interactions between the sustainable development as well as the AI capacity buildings or AI empowered development. That's really impressive. Thank you so much. And I'm also being enlightened by all your, I think, questions and comments. And I found there are really huge potentials between both our countries, I think as well as both our teams. So what's our research concerns? For myself, just as Professor Zhu introduced, I'm working on science and technology policy for more than 20 years. That's the very beginning of this program. So we jointly had when I was here, I guess, maybe 7 or 8 years ago. That's the first time when I accompanied with Professor Xue Lan, our former dean. Yeah, we talked a lot. So how to use the policy portfolio to encourage both the economy and society development. But by then, I think we haven't such kind of thinking. So how to make such a huge structural transformation, such like the renewable energy as well as AI. So because under this circumstance of what we call the revolution, I think on industry, on society, we need a very comprehensive, I think policy portfolio, transformation. I guess this is what China could give some experiences. In the science, technology, and innovation policy design. So we are right now thinking about if we should have a new model. So in this emerging technology areas, because it's a little different from what we talked previously about technology transfer. When you're talking about the technology transfer, so you already have a mature technology. You have a mature, commercialized model approach, but just as Xufeng mentioned. So in all of this kind of, I think issues, the green transformation, the labor and the technology, I think substitution, such like AI. So we need a comprehensive design of the whole policy portfolios. I think this is one part I got. So we can either facilitate the joint research under this topic, or I think to explore to design some kind of programs, especially for our policymakers. In my knowledge, Xufeng gave us strong support in our school. We had issued a new executive program for the policymakers, the industry practitioner, how to face this kind of transformation, empowered by AI, and how to use it to benefit all of these I think issues. So that is the first point I think I got. So for the second thing that I think we can work together is that how to use this kind of tools to improve the capability of governance of the regulators or the administrative authorities themselves. That's what we talked. This September, in Tsinghua, I met some of the I think representatives from the management and innovation department or anyway from Brazilian government. So that's give the opportunity for the public sectors to transform, to reform itself, to face all of these kind of challenges. So just as Xufeng mentioned, in order to overcome all of these kind of obstacles, you need a new governance approach. You need to adopt all of this kind of new technology in your daily use. So in China, it's very aggressive on the local level, on the government level, to use this kind of technology to improve their efficiency, as well as to give, I think the scenarios, to give the possibilities for this kind of, I think implementation practitioners to put this kind of technology into application. So otherwise, if the administrative authorities couldn't give the space for this kind of emerging technologies, so they will not be commercialized, they will not be scaled. So I think on this point, it's very important to make the public sectors, the administrative authorities to know about this. That's why I think we could really put our effort also on this to design either the executive training programs for our public maybe servants, as well as the industrial practitioners. I think that's the second point I got. So I will stop here. I guess this is really a very fruitful conversation. So we invite I think each other and we can pick up. Yes, thank you so much.
No, if they are final, I thought. So.
Yes. It's a question that goes beyond the subject of today, but what about the AI in health policies?
I can pick up this and make Xufeng take a rest. Yeah, because he already responded too much. So I'm also not the specialist in healthcare. But now in our institute, so if you have interest, I can leave this here. Yeah. So in our institute, what we are now doing is to investigate some specific areas, such as healthcare, such as education. So all of this are very huge, scenarios, and I think it's very essential for employment. So such kind of new technology like AI to improve, the efficiency to benefit the people, benefit the social welfare. But we think that it's very difficult to treat with all of this kind of regulatory problems will be faced in this process. So you know what happened now in China is that the companies, they are very aggressive in these areas. So both, internet giant, like Alibaba, Tencent, they threw big monies in this kind of areas, and all the solutions are already there. Yeah, either for the the service to the patient, or the diagnosis, the medicine, research. So the AI could import which very much, just as we can got from the Nobel Prize this year, improve the efficiency, very much. But there are two concerns, how to use this kind of technology in these sensitive scenarios. So one is the security of which. So now for AI applications in this kind of areas, you couldn't guarantee it's totally safety. So maybe there are still some dangers, some risks to use which. Then how to avoid this and how to allocate the accountability of which is a very essential issue. So that's require the regulators to be more smart, to be more clever, to treat with this kind of issues. So otherwise, the hospitals, the doctors will not adopt this solution. Yeah. One creative, yes, they will not adopt it. So because, they couldn't, accept this accountability. So if there are some maybe dental, risks, for the patient. Yeah. Now what they did is that to improve the collaborations. So maybe like a complementary, solution. So between the, doctor and the AI, the solutions. So the AI, tools could give their advice. So how to treat with the patient, and then they make the final decision. Yeah, so that's the model approach up to now. And another key issue is that so there are still, I think, obstacles. So for this, I think doctors, so they are refusing to use this kind of new technology because they are a little worrying about whether this kind of solution will substitute their work. Yeah. But so what the reality is that even for the what we call the big models, they couldn't substitute the senior doctor. So because the experience, the knowledge of which are very important to train, to collaborate, to benefit. So I think it's the patient. That's what we need to obstacle on the regulatory. So I think it's level. I don't have time to show all of you, but we did a very deep investigation about the exact scenarios in healthcare. So how to use AI to empower, I think it's the doctor, the patients themselves, but at the same time to keep the privacy and take I think physical security of the patient. So that's very impressive areas and are now evolving very fast. So either I think in China or in other developed countries, yes. But I think that China had a very positive attitude to this, even when you compared with Europe or US. So I will stop here. So just
Brazil has a national health system, and around 70% of the population use this national health
70%.
system.
Yeah.
And the idea of the government is that each citizen will have a card.
Yeah.
And this card will contain all the health information.
Yes.
That the doctors and the exams and everything. But you don't have a national health system. This is the trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. That's another thing. So AI could play very important roles. Now in China, in some province, they integrated all of this data. So I think to use big models to investigate, to dig very deeply. So what's maybe the early, I think, alarm for the patient. Because before that, for example, you have the annual, I think examination, a health examination, but all of this kind of data, couldn't be used, I think, to make some early alarm. So for some maybe diseases like AD, diabetes, this kind of things. But if you can integrate it, all of this kind of annual data, you can build the healthcare. I think it's the document for each people, and could manage the health, not to make your situation be seriously at the very beginning. So Alibaba already developed such kind of a solution. So you can use your CT, I think Images, and to do some early diagnosis for some cancers, which could prevent which to become more seriously at the very beginning. So that will benefit the whole system dramatically, and to I think to save maybe tens of I think billions of the money put on which for all of this kind of serious disease, like AD, like cancers. So there are really huge potentials. But how to integrate all of this kind of data, how to treat with the privacy issues, safety issues, all of this are related to the regulatory, I think framework. So that's a cutting edge discussion. So I think either in China, US, I think Europe, everywhere. So I think it's for such developing countries like Brazil, could do something, maybe even more creatively. Then developed countries, if you already have this kind of unified system, you can use AI to investigate, to dig deeply. So how could you benefit so from data, so from AI, and to resolve so this kind of health care. So I think it's a problem. So thank you.
Let me introduce Professor Renato Boschi. He is the chief person, he is the coordinator of our Institute for Science, Technology, and Public Policy Strategies and Development. I'm very glad that you could be here now. Now, Adriano, concluding remarks, and then we have a photo, and then we have to go to the university city.
Well, thank you. I was not intending to talk, but since you asked me, I always obey what you ask. So the remark I would give is that something that we have, for the last 10 years, I've been discussing with my students because they insist we are in a fourth industrial technological revolution, industrial revolution. And I keep saying, no, we are in the third industrial revolution, and that's just the moment that it's being consolidated. But with AI and the coming of the quantum computing, which is in a deadlock as far as I know, and the coming of this amazing industry that China is developing, not only in solar panels, but also in electric vehicles. Professor Zheng was talking here about the limitations, geopolitical limitations for Europe to import electric vehicles. But I must observe that Norway is not in the European Union, and Norway is importing Chinese electric vehicles in an amazing quantity as far as I know. So yes, Norway is changing. It sells oil and it buys electric vehicles. So they are doing very well. They're doing very well. So that's an observation. But the thing is, I think this time I will have to concede to my students that we are in a fourth industrial revolution. Now this is new. And what's also new is that I think that China is the center of the fourth industrial revolution. That's something different. It's not Europe, not United States, it's China. So we are witnessing this transformation, and I think that
Antonio will be proud of you.
Very important.
Antonio will be proud of you saying this.
Huh?
Antonio Castro will be proud of you.
He's just talking through me. Thank you.
Interesting line of reasoning. Yeah. Paulo, you want to just say a few words? Because this is, I think this has a diplomatic dimension that, no? Okay. Mário? Is our expert in this.
I'm sorry, I'm involved, or I'm thinking in the human dimension in this equation. We somehow touched on it here, and we see big changes in technology that are here and that are going to grow. In a certain sense, we can more or less foresee what these kinds of technology changes will incur. But the human dimension of satisfaction, work not only because of salary, but work because of being capable of doing something which is an enormous challenge and much harder to model. And I think somehow when we try to solve some problems that we, like China tried in the case of 1 children per family, it's so much more complex because the other results brings are not easy to foresaw. So the question which is always in my hand is what to do with the human factor which will be responsible for all this change. And it's not so charming, but it's very, very important, I think.
Now, the floor is yours. The final remarks.
Thank you. I have say too much. I have said too much. So what's our agenda? Yeah, because only my one presentation. Okay, so maybe I'm look forward to another keynote speak. Thank you for all the comments and discussions. Thank you. So we hope that Brazil and China, because we have a lot of potential of collaboration and also similarity, because we are both BRIC countries, and currently, we emerging economies, maybe 3 of us, maybe plus India, China, and Brazil. So far, it's good enough. Maybe others like South Africa and also Russia could be some trouble. So currently, we work together, both of us. So we hope that technological and sustainability, we can work together. Thank you.
So I think that I really want to say thank you for especially Xufeng, I think, to be here. So that's really a long travel. And I think I think it appreciated. So because he is very busy, so as the dean of our school, he also in charge not only I think the administrative daily works of our school, but also the well-known scientists, researchers on SDG, global governance, and he put many efforts on the international education programs under our schools. We nearly have maybe more than 10 programs, jointly, with foreign universities, institutes, including Columbia, including Geneva University, of this kind of I think academic collaborators. So most of the programs, the majorly enrollment, I think it are both from the developing countries, from Latin America, Africa, as well as the developed countries as US and Europe. So I guess maybe for the next step, we already talked a lot about how to facilitate the joint research to learn from each other. I think the most important thing, what we feel this time, during the whole, I think, a week, I was in São Paulo, Brazil, I felt is that we need more dialogues, like this. Both from the industry, government, as well as, I think, academic level. We can build this platform to promote our dialogue to more comprehensive, to enroll more people. I think that's the most important thing.
This is the main goal.
Yes. That's already be agreed by our top leaders. I think all those oceans not will be the obstacles for the interactions. In this age of internet, that is one point I picked up. Another point is that we can do more based on this to train people, either the young guys, like the student. We're talking with Tao, you already did, to give the young people, both in China and in Brazil, to visit each other, to exchange the ideas, and as well as executive, experienced practitioners, policymakers, researchers on both countries. I think that's what we can do. For next step. Thank you. I will stop here. I really appreciate it. For understudies, I think it. Your passion, your engagement. In past, I think 10 years, and all your contributions. Either the old friends of us, or the new friends. Thank you so much. Yeah, my personal, I think it's appreciation. Thank you so much.
This has been really